my name's Rob and I'm from Australia and I love traveling to new countries. I've been traveling around Kazakhstan and I've been using my social media to reach out to interesting families. I want to understand how this country fits together. So, if you want to prove the people of Kazakhstan are the most hospitable, then invite me.
In today's Invite Me program, Australian traveller Robert Boyd has received an invitation from Inspector Ludmila Vinokurova. Right now he's going to the town of Ritter to find out why West Altai National Park is unique, why Ritter ore was appreciated at London's World Exhibition, how to find a common crane.
G'day everyone, my name's Rob and I'm from Australia and I love to travel to new countries. Most of all, finding out about people's origins and culture. Along the way, making some new friends. So if you want to prove the people of Kazakhstan are the most hospitable, invite me. As I've been traveling around Kazakhstan, I've been writing a blog. I've also been using my social media to reach out to the families of Kazakhstan. I want to be invited. I want to know Kazakhstan through its people. I want to know their nature. I want to know their traditions. I even want to know the food they eat. Everything to really know Kazakhstan. Today, I've been invited by a lady called Ludmila to East Kazakhstan, a town called Ritter. It's got a very interesting name, yes? Now you see, Ludmila works in the national park here, and she's asked me to come and see the beautiful nature here. I'm very excited. We should get going. I've been reading on the internet that this town, Ritter, is a little bit like Rio de Janeiro. It's true. You see, the city districts are scattered between the foothills, the mountains and the forests, and the mountain hollows. It's very interesting. Now, another thing that makes this place very special is it has massive and rich ore deposits of gold, silver and gemstones. These have been made into jewelry, cases and vases. The ore body received the highest ratings at the London exhibition. The other important thing is that this ore body has even been included into the Royal Institute of Technology collections in Stockholm. It's interesting, isn't it?
Ritter is a small town in the East Kazakhstan region. It was founded in 1786 and named after mining engineer Philip Ritter, who found polymetallic ore deposit there. Today, Ritter is the center of Kazakhstan mining and metallurgical industries. It's famous for its minerals and unique attractive place, which is West Altai National Park. This national park is popular not only among Kazakhstani residents, but also among tourists coming here from all over the world. By the way, Ludmila wrote in her letter that she'd wait for me here. Telling the truth, I was delayed because of an unexpected snowfall.
Ludmila, thank you for inviting me.
Hello, Robert.
How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. Did you have a nice trip?
It was excellent. It's such a big territory, but it's so beautiful to see. And the first snow is fantastic as well.
I'm pleased to hear that. Come in, please.
Okay, thank you.
Of course, such a snowy winter which has begun so early really surprised me. When I was going on a journey, I thought I would see golden autumn here, but found myself in a real winter fairy tale. However, it didn't affect my good mood at all. Actually, it had an opposite effect on me, and now I can't wait to explore this amazing place. West Altai National Park lies near the border with Russia and has a status as a specially protected natural area of national significance. Specially trained inspectors, or rangers as they are called in Australia, help to keep order and monitor the compliance with the rules in this area. Let's enter the house and see how our inspectors live.
Ah, excellent.
Sable 30 to Sable 20. Sable 30, everything is okay. What can you say about the snow depth? Snow is about 40 centimeters deep. Understood. I'll be in touch. Come in, Robert. Take off your outerwear. This is our state inspector.
Hello, I'm Robert.
I am State Inspector Dr. Khan Ibrahimov. Dr. Khan has worked here for a long time, for 10 years. Previously, he worked in Katon Karagay for almost 30 years. Then he moved here and continued his professional activity. The job of inspector seems routine and monotonous only at first glance. Actually, the inspector is the one who sees to it that necessary measures are being taken to protect the environment in the national park. The inspector protects it from fire, poachers, and careless tourists.
So please tell me, what's the life of a park ranger like, and what are the important things that you do?
The main aim of the national park is to maintain the natural state of environment. The enforcement of the rules rests on the shoulders of our state inspectors. Their tasks include protection of forests from fire and illegal use by people. They protect everything that grows, lives, flies, and swims in this territory. A state inspector's working day starts at 7 a.m. First, they check the national park territory. They have to write down everything they saw on their way in a special observation diary. They must pay attention literally to everything, including what animals and birds they saw, the air temperature, and even what footprints remained on paths. After they did their round, they have to document the information thoroughly and send it to the town. Having felt warm after drinking a cup of fragrant tea, I convinced Ludmila to go all round the national park together. Let's go to the river and I'll show you. You can see that there are cordons near reservoirs. There is always some river near them. Water depth measuring rods are installed in them. These measuring rods are used to determine water level. See how much water flows down. It happens from May when ice drifting is over and approximately until the time when they are covered with ice. This is a snow depth measuring rod. When it's snowing, the depth is determined with the help of the marks on them. Look, you can see that the snow depth is 28 centimeters. Usually snow depth doesn't reach so high level in this season. However, the autumn is anomalous this year. You can see that we already wear winter clothes and there is a lot of snow. Probably the nature made a mistake. The climate in West Altai National Park has certain peculiarities. The temperature fluctuates between -50 in winter and +35 degrees Celsius in summer. Precipitation amount sometimes reaches 400 centimeters. Snow carpet lies here almost half a year. Its medium depth amounts to 70 centimeters and reaches 3 meters in certain years. Special clothes and comfortable footwear are indispensable here.
I bet lots and lots of people would like to come here and see this park. How many people come in a year? What kind of people? Are they tourists or children here?
The national park is popular and about 700 people visit it a year. Of course, the majority of visitors are children, including school children from Ritter. There are tourists from the region and the country. Foreigners show interest in the national park too. Approximately 50 foreigners visit it every year.
Some of these trees are so tall. They must be 2-3 meters maybe? What sort of age are these trees?
Actually, the national park was founded in a place where primordial forest grows. These trees are about 200 to 300 years old.
So I was reading that you have some plants and animals here that are very, very special because they're on the red list. Can you tell me about them?
Totally, 883 plant species grow in the national park, and 27 of them are in the red list. These are the species which need to be protected. Special measures should be taken so that they could survive. First of all, it's a global problem which needs to be solved. Biological diversity must be maintained, and our national park fulfills this task here. Of course, there are medical, poisonous, and ornamental plants among them, and we do our best to save them here and protect rare plant gene pool. Probably later they will be used to restore the endangered species population.
As I've been walking through the park here, I found out so many interesting facts. Do you know there's over 200 different types of mushrooms here and 800 different types of plant species, 27 of which are on the red list, so that's a bit sad. But there's also many different types of animals. We've got bears here, different types of deers, elk, and there's one romantic story. There's a type of bird called a common crane, sadly also on the red list. However, these birds, they mate for life. They even take turns nesting and looking after the eggs. And when they're incubating, they put dirt on their feathers so they can stay hidden from predators. It's an interesting fact, isn't it?
The national park is located near Sella River's mouth, and there are quite small glaciers in the river valleys. If you go up along the forest edge, you'll see a few small mountain lakes filled with real ice and springs flowing from peat swamps. Look how transparent the water is. You can see all the stones there. The water is very clean. In general, there are a lot of rivers and lakes in the national park. Besides the mountains and forest, there are richness too. We continued our round and found ourselves in a real forest thicket. Now I understand why this place is called a gem of Kazakhstan. The beauty and unique diversity of West Altai National Park's landscapes are amazing. Taiga, mountain meadows, and mountain tundra are closely interwoven here. Can you imagine that there are 3 climate zones here?
My friends, the West Altai National Park is an amazing place. There's still many flora and fauna still existing here. For those that want to escape the urban mess, breathe in and experience this pristine environment, they should surely come here. The lake is next to the mountain and the forests are next to the tundra. And for me, I fell in love with the fresh snow-covered forests. Oh, wow! That's a big tree.
This is cedar, or Siberian pine, which is the main tree in our taiga. It provides food for all the forest animals and birds. People gather cedar nuts and enjoy eating them too, but not in the national parks. It's an amazing, unique tree which grows for many years. In the national park there is a tree which is 450 years old. A cedar has an interesting peculiarity. Its roots grow near the surface, they aren't deep. Its crown has high windage, so when the wind is blowing, a tree can fall. There are a lot of trees toppled by wind in the forest and taiga. The point is, only 2 needles grow from an ordinary pine bud, while when a bud of this tree opens, there are 5 needles. is the reason why it has high windage and can be toppled by wind. Another peculiarity of this tree is the fact that its propagation is closely connected with fauna. There are birds called spotted nutcrackers which bury cedar seeds in soil. It means that they act as real forestry specialists. Later they find a part of the seeds and eat them, and a new forest grows from seeds they didn't find. So we can see close union between them, because a tree depends on a bird and a bird depends on a tree which provides it with food.
Okay, let me try something. I think to give me an understanding of how big it is. That's a big tree.
Tree height reaches up to 40 meters. There is another interesting peculiarity. It's believed that cedars have special energy and there are certain ways of using it wisely. Women should touch a tree with their stomach and bosom, while men should do it with their back. Yes, lean back on it.
Oh, I'm trying to feel the energy.
Having received the energy from this unique place, I asked Ludmila to show me another part of the national park.
It's amazing to think that this little tree will be as big as these ones in 10 years. That's amazing.
Yes, you can count how old they are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This fir tree is about 5 to 6 years old. In 100 years, it will turn into such a high fir tree. Our town runs an environmental campaign aimed at protecting New Year trees. A lot of fir trees are installed and decorated before the New Year's Day, which is why my colleagues from the National Park announced an initiative aimed at decorating artificial New Year trees instead of real fir trees. It's better to let them grow in the wild. Thanks to our efforts, the amount of purchased fir trees fell by about 100 times.
Ah! What's happened to this tree here? The bark has come off. Is that from a bear? That must be a really big bear.
Это, конечно, следы деятельности.
Of course, it wasn't a bear but insects destroying wood. They're called cosset millers. They made these small holes. This is a woodpecker's work. Here we can see the work of both cosset millers and woodpeckers. Later, holes will appear in such trees and forest animals or birds will live there.
That's not like our bears in Australia. We have the little bears, and they're in the tree and they drop down and it's very scary.
Well, our animals are calm and they don't attack people. After such an interesting excursion, Ludmila offered me to visit the National Park Museum.
That's a lot of different animals. What type of exhibitions are in here?
Our museum mainly contains exhibits connected with the flora and fauna of the national park. Here you can see stuffed animals. These animals live in West Altai. They are exhibited so that children and national park visitors could understand how diverse fauna of the national park is. They can see how big this animal is and what it looks like. All this information is presented in this museum. In addition, we have photos and other exhibits saying about the work and activities done in the national park.
Представляет работу заповедника и отображает его деятельность.
These are really interesting. I've never seen like a bear and a boar before. It's fascinating. Which type of people like to come here and see the exhibitions?
У нас очень много посетителей музея.
A lot of people visit the museum. Mainly they are school children, students, teachers and just residents of the town of Ritter.
Tell me, who sets up these exhibitions and who chooses what you display?
Ну, на самом деле подбором...
Actually, all the departments of the national park are engaged in selecting exhibits. Mainly the Ecological Education and Tourism Department is responsible for this. However, people working in the scientific department collect photos taken when they go on their rounds, some interesting facts and interesting exhibits. Later, after they're described and registered, they're taken to our museum to be introduced to visitors. These are our finds too. They are taken here from the National Park. Our colleagues from the Protection Department, Ecological Education Department and Tourism Department do this work. Our task is to introduce the National Park comprehensively and show its beauty and diversity.
Ставить заповедник во всем его разнообразии и красоте.
And tell me, how long have you been a park ranger and why did you decide to become a park ranger?
Эта профессия, наверное...
I think I set my heart on doing this job in the very beginning. I've always been attracted to this and wanted to work with nature and visitors. My destiny lies here and offered me this opportunity. I've worked in the national park for 15 years. I've had various jobs here, but working with people, communicating with nature and protecting everything we have, including the most beautiful things in our national park, are my favorite occupations. I like it very much, and I like my job a lot.
Мне это очень нравится, я очень люблю свою профессию.
In Australia, we have a lot of women who become park rangers. Is that common in Kazakhstan?
Я думаю, что это состояние души.
I think it's a state of mind. You should love nature and enjoy communing with it. When I go to the forest and take visitors on tours, I get exhausted, but I don't even notice it because I enjoy this work a lot. Probably there aren't a lot of female inspectors who do similar work in Kazakhstan, but I'm happy. I'm happy because I can commune with nature and communicate with people. I really enjoy the fact that I do my favorite work. Of course, I put my heart and soul into it. It's really very interesting and great. First, the national park is a protected natural area and we have to ensure its legitimate use. That is, when I work with visitors, I need to do the paperwork, arrange everything with a team and the head, prepare people so that they have proper clothes and be prepared. Tell them what they need to bring and what food they need. I also briefly tell them about the route. They should know what we'll see and be prepared for it. Besides, there are other subtleties which should be taken into account so that people could feel comfortable and prepared. You need to prepare information, know what to tell them about, and take binoculars and a camera. We often share some materials and photos which remain in the collection of the National Park, and people are left with good impressions and have great commemorative photos.
Хорошие впечатления и красивые фотографии.
And tell me, this is a really big park. How many park rangers do you have in your team, and are they friendly?
Ну, общая численность работающих в заповеднике 75 человек.
Totally, 75 people work in the national park, 33 out of them are state inspectors. I think that people who love nature should work in the national park. This love for our occupation, our nature and the work we do every day unites our team. Our team is really united and friendly. We all respect each other and try to help each other with work. We never say that is yours and this is mine, but do common work.
Мы делаем как бы общее дело.
This amazing and eventful day was over and it seemed it had lasted only a few minutes. I did not even notice when dusk had approached. Meanwhile, Ludmila's big and friendly family was waiting for us in their house. Come in, Robert.
Oh, thank you.
Sit down, please. This is my family.
Hello, hello. I'm Rob.
Good evening. Hello.
Очень приятно. Pleased to meet you. Hello.
This is my daughter, Katya.
Hey, Katya.
Nice to meet you. This is my granddaughter, Anya.
Hello.
Hello.
Привет.
This is my grandson Dennis.
Hi, Dennis. How are you? G'day.
Sit down, please.
Oh, thank you.
Today we have a dish cooked in a pot. It's delicious. My daughter made it while I was in the forest. My friends, telling the truth, after such an eventful day, I was glad to be at Ludmila's, meet her relatives, and have delicious homemade fruit drink and pot meat made following a special family recipe.
This is delicious. It's perfect for for cold weather. It's been a freezing day, but beautiful. Can you tell me about yourself? Were you born here, or did you move here from another place?
Yes, I graduated from Ust-Kamenogorsk Pedagogical University. I'm a geography and biology teacher by training. I moved to Ritter in 1986 and started to work here.
И стала здесь работать.
I found out that Ludmila's husband, Andrei, works as a research fellow in Ritter Botanical Garden. He respects his wife's unusual job and sometimes even accompanies her on rounds in the national park.
So here's the important question. How did you both meet each other?
Мы познакомились.
We met in the university. We were fellow students. I can say it's believed that students' families are the best. Well, we agree with the statistics since we've been together for 34 years.
Мы вместе уже 34 года.
So I understand there's so many different nationalities in Kazakhstan. Can you tell me about your family's traditions? What type of things do you do special and celebrate?
У нас дружная семья. Мы стараемся часто встречаться. Если мы встречаемся, мы
We have a friendly family and we try to meet often. If we can't meet, we phone each other. We go to commune with nature together, relax, try to do housework and work in the vegetable garden together. Besides, we gather at the weekends. We make some tasty dish and have a meal together. I'm showing you these photos on purpose because the emblem of our national park is a bear cub. It is an emblem of the national park and our most important animal. I want to give it to you as a gift reminding of the visit to our national park. Batis Altai Memleketik Tabegi is written here.
посещении нашего здесь написано Батыс Алтай Мемлекеттик Табеги.
This was really interesting and I loved seeing these pictures and hearing about your story. I really want to say thank you very much for inviting me. It was beautiful to get to see the mountains and to learn and to see the museum. I really enjoyed that. And thank you for inviting me into your home and meeting the daughter and husband and grandchildren. So thank you once again. Another amazing, hospitable family, and I'm really touched. Thank you very much.
Я очень рада, что
I am very glad that you got good impressions and enjoy visiting the national park and meeting my family. Thank you.
My friends, I had a really great day today. I've been climbing up mountains, I've had snow falling on my head, I've been through the museum, finding out about some really interesting animals and plants. Some of them are even in the Red Book. Ludmila's family has been fantastic here, and I've had a really great day as she showed me around the city. I think people are very lucky to be able to come here from not so far away. It's a pretty special place. I highly recommend that you come and have a look. Wow, my friends, Kazakhstan is such a beautiful place, such natural beauty and such diverse culture as well. The people here are hospitable and cordial,
I love traveling here in the land of the nomads. I highly recommend that you come and try it as well. As for me, I'm looking forward to my next adventure. Please invite me. I'll surely visit you.